I got into 4-H. I don't know if any of you were 4-Hers growing up or participated in that. My project in 4-H was entomology, the study of insects. So it stayed with me all my life. And when I moved to Arizona 4 years ago, I noticed these plants. This is a Horsetail Milkweed. And here's one here this is about to bloom. So we're bringing these in now from Prescott Valley, where I live, and Lisa's selling them. There's a very unique relationship between the Monarchs and the milkweed. The milkweed, and maybe you all know this already, is the only plant that the butterfly will lay its eggs on. The only plant the caterpillar will eat. Black and white and yellow, and they look like the little black pigtails on top. And I'm not going to really talk about the other kinds of caterpillars. I'm going to talk about the other kinds of butterflies that sort of look like monarchs. So you'll know the difference, because a lot of people are identifying them. I think they've seen a monarch, and it's actually our two-tailed swallowtail. It looks like this, the state butterfly of Arizona. And they're pretty large. I think, in fact, they may need to be called the state bird. But anyway. So yes, the monarchs are just starting to show up here. They return every year from Mexico or California, depending on where they come from, with the monsoons usually. I saw one in Prescott Valley on the 29th, first one that I know of that was spotted down there. And that's just really exciting. The monarchs had a little bit of a hard winter at their overwintering place in Mexico. We had a freeze that killed a number of them. So we're a little bit on edge to see how many are going to come back through this year. But steadily, the numbers have been increasing over the years from all the efforts that people around the world, really, and especially our continent, but because they do have them in Australia as well, are doing to bring back the numbers, especially by planting milkweed. This is a picture of a honeybee on the Horsetail Milkweed, and it's the Indigenous Milkweed, one of them, of Arizona. I understand there are some 9. I haven't seen them all yet, but it's the one that the monarchs like the best. It's their favorite. So that's why we're trying to get the word out more and more that these are the best ones to have. They'll grow anywhere. And I'm not going to pass this around, but once you start to learn what the milkweeds look like, what the butterflies look like, you'll see what would work best for you.
Do they need a lot of sun, or can they get partial sun?
They can handle some partial sun, but they do like full sun. So there's kind of a trick to transplanting them. I'm learning more about that, and just bear with me because I'm learning so much right now. I'm sort of still in the lab with all of this. I guess I'll tell you a little more about the milkweed. The thing about any milkweed, and we have, this is a tropical kind right here. It's called silky gold, right? Then we have tuberosa, which is this one. And it has mostly orange blossoms, and the one that people get the most, because I think that's called the butterfly weed, or... Yeah. Okay, and
that one is a perennial.
This one is a perennial here. This is a series. The monarch has hatched from the egg and it's eating milkweed. Then it goes into the chrysalis stage. Usually you'll see these, and they'll look like an emerald green with gold dots on them. Then just before the monarch emerges, it'll go translucent, and so that's what I've taken a picture of here. And if you're waiting with your camera to get a shot of the butterfly emerging from the chrysalis, you can't sleep. You have to, you just have to sit there and wait for it, because I mean, so many times I brought some caterpillars inside and raised them on milkweed, that I've cut to tag them. But I turn around and then the butterflies, it's out. It's just out. So it pops right out. And then this is a few minutes after it's emerged and it's looking at me. And you can see the shell of the chrysalis there. So the monarch looks a lot, or I should say, there are other butterflies that look like the monarch. The one I think that people are most familiar with is the viceroy. I don't have any pictures. I don't know if we have viceroys here. But the other one that really gets confused with the monarch is the queen. And Gail talked about that quite a bit last year here. They are different because they have white spots on the orange. The monarch does not have any white spots on the orange. The white spots are only on the black. And the queens also have a light dusting around the black veins. So before I pass that around, I want to tell you one more thing about monarchs. How to tell the difference between the male and the female. This is really important in monarch world. The female does not have pheromone pockets like the male does. You'll see these right here. Sorry, Ken, if I'm on and off the mic. It's a little dark area, and it gets even oranger in the orange. And it comes off of this vein that we call, that's the mitt or the hand. So if you're looking to identify between the male and the female, that's it. You can see it on this one too. Right there. Right around. And then the female, just simple and beautiful. No pheromone pockets. And here's a picture of blooming, or rather the seeds that are mature on the milkweed. And they're so pretty. Most people just think, oh, look, there's a cottonwood, whatever, flying through the sky. It's milkweed seeds, and it's great to save those because you can plant them again, or you can plant them and grow your own milkweed that way as well. I think I just wanted to say these cards are for sale down at the front. My company is Wingnut Productions. Don't ask. And here are some seeds that I've collected and Waters is carrying now, so you can get your own seeds. The Horsetail Milkweed, yeah. That's really the only one I'm schlepping right now. Other people are a lot better at growing and selling the tropical and the tuberosa, so I'm letting them do that. If you want the horsetail, they have horsetail here. There's a monarch with a tag on it. What I do is I let them come out of their chrysalids and sort of start to dry a little bit or fill their wings out, and then tag them. And you can go to monarchwatch.org and get your tags.
How do you tag a butterfly?
Yeah.
Is it like a paperweight? Or is it like...
Yeah, this is the two-tail. Anyway. Yeah, it's a little tricky.
You tag the wing.
Yes.
The farthest distance the butterfly's been tracked so far? So like thousands, hundreds of miles, dozens of miles?
I don't know the farthest they've been tracked. I know they've found some in Southern California that were in Nevada. They found some in Mexico from here. And then north of here, I couldn't tell you. That's good information to know. But you can go to monarchwatch.org and get more statistics on that. But the ones that we see that come back, they go north, they'll lay eggs wherever they can, and those babies will catch up and go to where they're supposed to go. The ones we see coming back in September and October are usually pretty tattered and worn out. You know, I took some photos last year of, you just can't believe that butterfly's still flying, you know, but they do, so that's pretty amazing to me. Lisa was going to help me with something here. Yes, I have these posters from pollinator.org, and We have a seed bank we're beginning in Yavapai County. It's called Lynx Creek Seed Exchange, and we're asking a $5 donation if you'd like to get a poster. This one's about, what do they call those? The carnivorous pollinators, or carnivorous plants rather. They don't eat their pollinators. So you can see the different pollinators here from the kinds of carnivorous plants. They're interesting. And then, yeah, then we have some orchids that are, it tells you what the pollinators are that go with the orchids, the native orchids of North America. So there's that. Yeah. And I think I've just about covered what I had on my list right now. So if anybody wants to ask some questions, go ahead.
Is there a particular time of year that's appropriate? You say you have milkweed seeds.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. The thing about most, all the milkweed seeds that I know of is they need to be what's called vernalized. So you refrigerate them, you soak them in warm water for about 8 hours, and then you take them out, drain it, and put them on some moistened towels and put them in plastic, put them in the fridge for 30 days. Some of the varieties call for 6 weeks, but we found that 30 days works pretty well for the horsetail. And then you can plant them. I found, this is some of my experimenting, that they grow the best in dirt, in Arizona dirt.
Which is amazing, because nothing else does.
Yeah. But they do that. So you can also wait and plant them at the end of the summer and just let nature run its course, because it vernalizes naturally. So the thing is it's a weed, and if we play with it too much, it doesn't like that. So there's a fine line. Yes.
If we scratched it to the dirt at the end of summer and just let it do its own thing, it'll overwinter. And
My experience has been yes, and they did quite well last year when I did that. So,
And you have the directions. She actually has a little direction handout that goes with the seeds, so it gives you directions for both, whether you try to do it now or you want to wait, let nature take its course too. So pretty good directions on that. Any other questions for Toya? Yeah.
Do any of the predators, deer, whatever, eat the milkweed?
So her question was, do the Havoline and the deer eat the milkweed?
generally, no, because the trick is that it's poisonous to other animals, and that's the
Ingenious.
yeah, how the butterflies developed its relationship with the milkweed, so other animals don't like eating those. However, there are some insects that will eat the eggs when they've been laid. Yeah. What I did want to point out that since this is a poisonous plant, that needs to be taken into consideration wherever you plant it. There are some schools that don't want to plant the horsetail milkweed around because they're concerns for children. And I've also been told that sometimes when it's growing in pastures, if there's not enough forage for cattle or horses, they'll start munching on the milkweed, which is not a good thing. But overall, animals are pretty smart, and you get a taste of that.
You'd have to eat a lot of it too, probably.
Yeah. And it's milky, that's why it's called milkweed. If you ever squeeze it or cut it, you'll get that stuff on your fingers right away. So.
Once they become a caterpillar, how long are they a caterpillar?
Yeah.
And how long do they stay in the chrysalis?
In the chrysalis, I believe that caterpillars take a little over a week to eat enough and then to go into what's called their last instar. And the monarch, unlike other butterflies, forms a chrysalis, which means it sheds its skin instead of spinning a cocoon. That's the difference. And then the chrysalis is anywhere from sometimes 10 to 14 days. It takes them to change in there. So, yeah. The interesting thing too about, I just wanted to say, they've done studies where they've done MRIs and X-rays on what happens in the chrysalis of the monarch. They used to think that the larva liquefied and then found its way into being an adult that emerged. It doesn't actually. It goes through a very intricate process of changing into the butterfly, and the gold specks on the let's see, where's it?
We have the
You
picture.
can't really see it. Yes, you
Oh,
can.
yeah.
The gold specks on the chrysalis,
They're right.
here, 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 and here. They look like little gold jewels. They are for breathing. It's part of their breathing apparatus.
How cool is that?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So, and then I did hear you say correctly, they think the monarchs are increasing
Yeah.
in number.
Yes, I don't have the graphs with me, but overall, over the last few years, we're starting to see a gradual climb from all our efforts.
Is that in the Southwest or is that globally? Is that here or is that everywhere?
I think I'll just say the North American continent.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, I am not the expert on the monarchs. They were here last year, but you can ask them anything on those websites. Southwest Monarch Study, which is in this article you'll get in your email. They appreciate photographs. It's really great to take pictures of all kinds of butterflies, because then you'll learn how to identify the differences between, you know, the monarchs and the queens, and send them your photos. Also, the interesting thing about the queens is the males have this little pheromone pocket too. I don't know if you saw that on there. It looks like a bullseye. It's black around the white, so you can't miss the dude. So, anyway. Okay.
All right, any other questions?
Answer all those questions.
Koya will be around later, I'm sure. If you're interested in the posters or any of her cards, I'm sure she'd love to sell some cards. And then don't forget the seed. We'll have that available as well. So now I think it's time for Ken. Yay!
Give her a hand.